So we are 6 hours and a half into the race. We are on our way to England. We had a disastrous start in very light wind. We got stuck on the starting line. We actually below the start line without no wind. And after we barely managed to get to the first mark, then we got into a squall, and somehow the furling mechanism of our Gennaker didn't work, so we had a lot of troubles taking down the Gennaker, which in the end made us get almost to the last position in the fleet. But after we started to head towards England, we managed to recover some positions. We stayed closer to the direct route, and we did a lot of sail changes and trimming. And as you can see now, we are actually quite close to a lot of boats, and we managed to leave behind quite a significant number of boats. We were probably the fifth boat at the end. And I think we recovered at least 10 positions since then. The forecast is not as expected. The wind is much lighter and shifty. We estimated initially that we would get to England in about 14 hours, but it turns out that I think it's gonna be much longer. The wind is not 15 knots, it's barely 7 knots. But in any case, it rained for almost 6 hours. The rain stopped about half an hour ago, so we are starting to get our clothes dry. Vincent is in the boat preparing something to eat. And I let the autopilot do the job for the time being. To enjoy a little bit the scenery. The final waypoint along the south coast of England. After this waypoint, which is about 6 miles ahead, we'll turn our boat to Deauville. Today it has been a very difficult day. We sailed upwind the entire day in strong wind, 20 to 25 knots, and a constant swell of 2 to 3 meters. Plus, at some point for 6 hours we had a current against us, so we couldn't make advance too much. Ahead there are 2 boats, an Asira and a Maxi. We were ahead this morning, but somehow they were better in the tricky conditions today. That's the fuel shot. Sunset. Our clothes are completely soaked and it's cold. I'm really looking forward to starting our trip. Lower now, and the wind, the waves as well, the swell decreased. See you later. The third day of racing was pretty calm. Even the night was much calmer than the previous day. The wind decreased from 20 knots gradually over the past 12 hours to barely 5 knots. We still have about 4 miles to go to the buoy from which we'll head directly towards Deauville. We could get some rest both over the night and in the morning, and we managed to trim the boat pretty well to sail in these very light conditions. I'm not sure if you can see in the back there is a Pogo 2 that managed to overtake us about 2 hours ago, and after we did some proper trimming we managed to get ahead of him, and now I think we are half a mile ahead. There are some other boats behind us too, so definitely the last in the race. All the big cargo ships are headed towards Le Havre. And all our clothes are completely soaked. Yesterday it was a rough day, we were continuously baited by waves. Vincent is preparing some delicious ravioli inside. Yes, Chef Vincent. With spinach and... Ok. Non, c'est d'épinards, de fromage, chèvre.
Non, c'est légumes grillés aux œufs frais.
Ah bon. Quelque chose de spécial. This is the life of a minister. Sometimes it's excellent, sometimes pretty bad, but at the end of it, you still love it. Yesterday we felt like we were in a washing machine, constantly being tossed around, completely soaked. We could not get the change inside because the boat was moving so badly that we were just falling around. I banged my head 3 times on the switch panel and shut down all the instruments during navigation. The good part was that Vincent was helming at that time, so basically he didn't feel. A great finish sailing downwind using finally our big spinnaker. Quite a blast heading towards Deauville. There are a few minis around, but I think we are the last ones in the race. We are 2 behind. One next to us that we overtook. And the Pogo 2 ahead of us, who managed to overpass us in extremely light wind. Look at these big tankers, cargo ships. What a nice way to end a beautiful regatta. Although it was one of the toughest races I've ever done. More details to come soon. Yoo-hoo! The final hour before the end of the race, and we had an amazing finish. For the past 3 hours we've been sailing under spinnaker, and the day was beautiful. The first day without rain, sunny, although quite chilly. The sea is flat. Another mini, a proto, just behind us. Ooh, they're having some problems with the spinnaker. Yeah, I think they're taking down the spinnaker.
Exactly.
Vincent is happy as a child. After the terrible day we had yesterday, today, especially in the afternoon, after we managed to get out from the light winds, it was fabulous. If we manage to catch up with the Pogo 2 that we've been having a fight for the past hours, this would be even more awesome. But in any case, this is fantastic. And Deauville is straight ahead. The white area, the white patch that you can see in the hill there is Deauville. It's still about 8 miles away. I hope we're not going to cross paths with any huge cargo, so that we'll be forced to change our course and possibly give up the spinnaker. Let's see. Beautiful sunset right after finishing the race. Non, c'est bon.
Regarde derrière aussi le bâtiment. Les fenêtres du bâtiment tout éclairé par le soleil.
but it's already gone. Now we have to wait for another 2 hours for the marina gates to open. It's still low tide, but at least it's a beautiful evening.